get very emotional when I write. I know that a scene is working well if I cry or if I laugh. I was talking to another writer last night, and she said, I know, well, actually she was a reviewer. She said, and I know when I've written a good review, I'll read it and go, well, I'm pretty good. And I said, I do exactly the same thing. That's terrible, but I go, that was good. I like that. Go me, I literally will do that when but it doesn't happen very often enough is the problem. Most of the time I'm writing and I have no clue. But once in a while I'll write something and I go, yeah, that's it. I hit it right there. I can tell. And it's interesting. I think for writers, we have a template idea in our head of what we want to do. And I read an article in which, and I know if I hate to attribute it to the wrong author, but I think it was Barbara Samuel who wrote about it. And she said, you start out, it's like when you're doing art and you put a swash of color down and then you miss the edge and it changes the art in a palpable way, and then you have to accommodate that because it was a mistake. And those mistakes often enrich the piece of art. Well, that's what happened. And she said, so, you always feel like there's a part of you that says, I've ruined it. And there's a part of you that knows that the ruining it made it a different thing, maybe even a better thing. It's hard to say. And in the end of her article, she said, go ruin your book. But I always feel that way. I always have this idea of the perfect book that it's going to be when I'm done. And then I ruin it. But in a way that, I'll do something or the character will say something. I'm going, that was not in the plan. But then it becomes, oh yeah, that really is, and you realize that really was what you were interested in writing about. You thought you wanted to write about this, but that's not what you wanted to write about. You were mining some deeper emotion. I think all writers, all of us, if you ever read an author exclusively for a while, you read several of their books, you notice they have certain themes that come up over and over. My girlfriend says that, writing is therapy for us. That's what it is, but you'll be writing and you keep dealing. Some of us always deal with abandonment issues if we felt abandoned. Some of us, because I was raised a missionary's daughter, but I had kind of not that bent, I tend to do a lot of masquerade stories. People are pretending to be something they're not, or they're having to pretend to be something. That's just a theme throughout my books. It took me a long time to pick up on it. And I was recently I was talking to my friends and I said, but I think I've grown out of that because I have this character now. I'm writing Gabe's book and he's not pretending to be anybody or anything, and then I go on to talk about how everybody sees him as the angel of death, but that was a role put upon him, and then they were like, hello. And I went, oh darn, I thought I'd gotten past it. They were like, you can never escape your core theme. You can't. It's the thing that just obsesses you, that you keep playing out and working out in your books. And for some people, it's redemption is a theme for some people. I think you have minor themes. Those things, redemption ends up in a lot of my books too. I have abandonment books, but those are not the one that just sings for you. The one that sings for you, that's always there, that thread that's always there, is the core theme that just makes you want to write. And whenever you hit that theme just the way you want to hit it, I cry or I laugh or it evokes strong emotion. And half the time I don't know why. I just know that this is a powerful, powerful moment for me. And I'm sitting there, that's so good. That's what he did. Yeah, I cry at the, I figure, and when I hit that moment, I go, okay, that's good. Now, the unsettling thing is, you think it's universal. So you go, that was the most moving moment. And then a reader will read your book and say, I had the most moving moment at X. And I'm like, X? I just threw that in because I thought it was funny. Or, what, X? That was the one? It's never the moment that resonates for me that everybody, sometimes it is. Once in a while they'll say, this is a great quote. And I'll go, yeah, I knew that was a great quote when I wrote it. But sometimes they'll pick something Because it's all individual, you know, and it'll speak to them in a different way. If they are someone who has abandonment issues, they're going to read the book, and that little tiny abandonment issue that for you was just a plot point to get your characters to hear is the most compelling thing for them and makes that book special to them, which is why readers never have the same favorites either. You know, my readers will say, this is the one, this is the best, and someone will go, no, I think this is the one. You know, they never agree because it depends on what resonates with them.